Good evening, everybody. If you are watching after the fact, then please do feel free to skip ahead to qualifying as we get the rest of the drivers into the lobby and all of the stream set up and ready to go. It's the finale of ESRL Division 2 Season 4. We will be racing to find out our champion in just a few moments' time. A very good evening. I said about 5 minutes, well, about 10 minutes ago that I was going to go put my feet up and rest after one stream, but I'm doing a solid for ESRL and popping on to broadcast the finale of Division 2. I couldn't turn it down, surely. I couldn't. It's a finale and we're in Brazil, so it's just the cherry on top for what is to come. But hello everybody. It's currently 9:17 p.m. British summertime. I learnt that today. Not today, I learnt that a couple of days ago. But yes, we're going racing one more time for Division 2. And wow, we've got quite the battle going on in a moment. We'll get a bit more into that in a few minutes' time. Hello, Cloppet in the chat. What is up? I'm currently drinking my cup of tea, getting ready for a finale that I'm hoping is going to be absolutely action-packed. And ESRL does provide some awesome racing, so I'm sure it will be. If you're in the chat, of course, please do feel free to interact. If you're watching along, leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. It's just me tonight, as Ghost could not make it, unfortunately, but I will sure to be bringing as much action as possible. And as I say, we are going to Brazil. I am Sumo, your commentator this evening, and welcome along to the Division 2 final for their 4th season, I believe. I haven't got too much insight on the stats around here, but I will try and do my best to be as well informed as possible. But Brazil, what a circuit we have. It's always it's the spiritual finale of Formula 1 to me. I'm not going to lie. I still think it should be the final race of a season. In all honesty, because it's just such a great track, isn't it? And we've seen such great things. You know, we saw Glock going slowly. Lewis Hamilton won his first championship. Kevin Magnussen's magnificent pole position, which I'm so. I think I had a few tears in my eyes that day. But anyway, Interlagos then is a 4.309 kilometre circuit, and my word, it's raining, and that's going to add some more drama to the mixing pot. There's 15 corners. Of course, drivers will have to navigate Sector 1 with the Senna S's, Curva de Sol, and down the Retaposta into Sector 2, where they will go through turns 4 and 5. Up the hill and into the twisty through the twisty parts of Sector 2, and then down in towards Junsao to start off Sector 3, where it's flat all the way out the last proper corner of Sector 3, all the way down towards the line. What a fantastic circuit we have for a finale. And let's talk over then what we are setting up here, or what we've got set up. It's been quite the story so far. And we've had quite a few. We've had 2 protagonists come out on top. We have in the Alpine, spelled wrong. Great name. I'll never get over the difficulty of names, although some real names prove even trickier than these other ones. And Slivery Cow and the Alfa Romeo, who are fighting it out. There's 12 points between the 2 of them, with the Alpine having the advantage going into this round. He's got to do a great job, and Slivery Cow has got to do an even greater one to win this championship. And then you've got Scott, who's out. I think he's going to look to claim P3 as his own. He's had a few outings in the season, but I'm not sure T is close enough, and Jacalaco's not here tonight to wrap things up. So that's going to be your drivers, really. The ones we're watching are going to be, of course, the top 2, Slivery Cow and Spelled Wrong in the Alpine. And let's move over to the constructor standings as the Toe makes his way out onto the circuit. We've got 27 points then in between Alpine and Alfa Romeo, so the fight continues, it diverges, it transcends both championships, if you want to put it that way, as the pair go through. So that's your constructors' battle at the moment, and McLaren are close behind with Alpha Tauri as well. So that's a battle for P3, but we're going to ride on board. I think it's not the Jolly Dolly, but it's Cloppet. So we're going to ride on board of a wet lap on board with Brazil then Heavy braking, you've got to try and get a late-ish apex, not really touching it through the centre S's, and then trying to focus on your exit in these next two parts. The second corner really does set you up for the third corner. Onto the straight, first of two DRS zones at this track, then it's heavy braking. It's a fast, committed corner through turn 4 there, and you've got to be even more committed in the rain to get the best out of the car. And through 5, oh, that's a big step, and that's the clop it out. We've had a great view of that crash, but not what we want to see. So we'll carry on with the lap as well, but gives it a little bit too much pepper coming through and into sector 2. But Joe Lancer in the Williams, he's carrying on through, and we're into this twisty section now, and this sort of cambered corner that sort of goes down and then straight back uphill, and then up to this heavy braking zone up the hill there as well. Late apex coming round through the hill, and then flat through here in the dry, probably not in the wet, backing off just a little bit is the Williams, and then into Junsao we go, the final proper corner on this circuit. This is a flat out run down towards the line. This Williams is going to set the first lap time of the session, and we're going to go follow along board. It's probably not going to be completely flat in these slippery conditions, but where can Joe Lancer go? Let's get some details up for everybody as well. I realise I've not done that, but it is the... oh, it's not. It's an outlap, I think. I finally think I would have known that if he wasn't on. So Jolly Die is going to set the first lap. This is 17.7 for the McLaren. Tieran 18.8 as well, with Spaldrong a 17.6, a tenth faster than the McLaren behind. The Toe has invalidated his lap. Let's see, Monty Peretz in the Ferrari joining in. Let's get back over to the live chat. Hello, Lapa YT. Hello, Dimitris. DTS Ayrton. Hello, one of the many Ayrtons we have over in ESRL. Hello. It's nice to have you all in. I hope you're excited, as excited for the finale as I am, because it's going to be a good one, I think, with the points gap that we have between the drivers. Let's watch along. Monty Peretz in the Ferrari into the pit lane. Anticlimax, I know. Slivery Cow, then championship contender, sets the fastest time. It's a 17.674, just 0.02 of a second faster than Spaldrong in the Alpine, whose teammate Wolfman sets his first time, not overly competitive. How about Joe Lancer? Invalidated, of course. Johnny Die. I wonder what the strategy is here. Tears an 18.8 here. But do drivers fill up the car and just go around the track? Do they come in for new tyres periodically? What's the game plan? What's the approach for this? I think I know my approach as a driver. I think I would get myself out there and get more of a feel for the track, really, and try and learn where the grip is, and then maybe come in for some fresh tyres, do a couple laps toward the end. Well, a lap or two toward the end as Scott has retired. That's not what he wants to do. He's got to try and secure P3. I think he's got it in the bag, but Tier, if he scores well enough, can take it from him. But you'd have to score really well, I think. I'll have to look over the standings, but I think that's a somewhat insurmountable climb for Tier. But if the race is wet, it's on the cards. Tier loves a wet race. He certainly does, but this is elite racing, remember. There's no assists in this lobby. There's no racing line. There's no traction control or ABS or any of that. Any of those assists that would help out. And Slivery Cow's gone even faster. He's 0.2 faster, in fact. And he's opened that gap up a little bit more. Spaldrong is still out on track as well. Joe Lancer now sets the fastest time. First driver into the 1 minute 16s, a 16.9 for the Williams. Tier making his way around. Thankfully, this is a warm-up lap for him. Spaldrong making his way around. Another sort of warm-up lap, or cool-down lap, if you want to call it, I guess. Getting some ERS into the car and making their way around. Monty Peretz is back out on track, looking to set a fast lap time or two, I'm sure. Let's find somebody else on a lap right now. Is Wolfman on a lap? I don't think so. So we won't follow along too closely with Wolfman then. How about Jolly Die? Jolly Die out lap. Jolly Die. Tears invalidated once again, so that's his lap in the bin. Spaldrong invalidated. He's got that lap wrong, certainly. Let's watch Monty Peretz as he spins at turn 1. Oh dear, commentator's coincidence strikes once more. as I ride on board with the Ferrari. Not how he would have wanted to start his next lap going forward. Slivery Cow. I think Slivery Cow has just gone a bit quicker. He has a 17.0. Finds himself... Oh, and Joe Lance has gone even quicker now. A 16.6. He's really getting a handle on these wet conditions in that Williams. And is going very, very quick to show for it. How about Jolly Dye in the McLaren? No, this is a slower lap from the McLaren driver. Tier. That's not Tier. That's Tier. Tier is invalidated. I should have kept an eye on that particular instance. Spelled wrong. Invalid. At the time being, Slivery Cow warming those tyres back up, getting the car into a good window for a lap. How about the toe? I think the toe's on a lap, so let's follow along with this Williams. I looked at my... Well, that's why you shouldn't be on your phone while you're driving, Scott. I think that's one of the first things they teach you when you're getting your driving licence, and to do it in a Formula 1 car, that's even worse. But don't do it in the race and you'll make it to the end, I'm sure that's how it works. But I think I've fallen foul to that a couple of times, so I've just looked at my phone and then all of a sudden I'm in the barrier. That's all a fault of my own, really. Here comes the toe, looking like a quick lap time from him. It's P3 for the Williams, a 17.6, goes ahead of Spelled Wrong, who's not getting the best grip of, well, best of the grip, or getting to grips with the car on the track at the moment in his Alpine. But there's still plenty of time in the session, 8 minutes and 53 seconds and counting. We've got to go. Jolly Dye making his way down to the line. I think that's a cool down lap, so he's starting his next one. Here comes Tier. Can he improve on his time? I think he's down on his previous. Yes, he is. It's a 19.8 from the Aston Martin. Not the fastest of times thus far. How about Slivery Cow? Slivery Cow on a lap right now? I don't know. I don't think so. Not with the way they're driving. Car number 69. Not on a lap thus far. Aston Martin's had a bit of an off. That's Tier again. Don't spin, Tier, for heaven's sake. This could be your day. Scott Marshall's too interested with his phone at the moment. He's spinned it in qualifying, so this could be it. This could be it, but I've been proven wrong before. Wolfman, I think this is a slow lap for Wolfman as well. Wet qualifying sessions aren't always the most interesting, but when they are, they're fantastic, aren't they? It's great to see drivers on the limit in such treacherous conditions. And you saw Jolly Dye there catching a bit of a Tokyo drift there coming through. Here's Tier. No lap there. I think we've got some laps starting over here. I think Wolfman. And I think that's the toe behind him. Or is it Joe Lancer? It's the toe. It's the toe, everybody. Excuse me as I finish off my brew, as you want to call it, swap it out with the water that I have left. Here, hydration, very, very important as Womack retires from the session. Oh dear, not the session he would have wanted either. Lots of retirements at the moment, actually. We've lost Cloppett, we've lost Sinful in the Mercedes, lost a lot of drivers, and that's just another one to tune into the stream while we're going live at the moment. Let's see, Joe Lancer, is he on a lap? No, not on a lap at all. Spelled wrong. How about Wolfman? I think we were watching Wolfman. I think he's backed off. Or has he? Let's see, as he comes down towards Jun Sao now. Maybe not. No, definitely backed off. You can see there's a recovering batch. Oh no, they're losing batch. I don't know, it's hard to tell. Let's just wait until they cross the line. That'll be what tells the story, doesn't it? When they come across the line. Let's see, it's looking relatively put together. It's an 18.8, an improvement, I think, but not enough to improve his position for now. Slivery Cow back on track. One of two championship contenders, has the advantage over his rival thus far, Spelled Wrong, who's in P4. But there's still about 6 minutes or so left of the session, so still plenty of time to get in a lap. And Fuzz Wade in the Ferrari, I think this is his first foray out onto the circuit. First venture. Out, Joe Lancer invalidated his previous. Not too many laps coming in, lots of invalid laps. And this is all happening into turns 5 and 6. No, it'd be 6 and 7. It's that fast double right-hander. And then you go into the rest of the twisty section. That is 6 people watching thus far. Please do leave a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Subscribe to the channel as well. All of the support really does go a long way when it comes to commentary at the moment. But I think we're going to be watching Wolfman set a time. Maybe not. I think this is a snow. This is a slow lap again. He's already gone around the circuit. Let's see. Motti Peretz. He's out on track right now. Spelled wrong, out on track as well. Tear on an outlet. I've had somebody on a lap for you. Here we go. Slivery Cow, 2/10 up. Looking to displace Joe Lancer in first place at the moment on provisional pole position. Can that Alfa Romeo car number 69 make their way up into that top spot for that provisional pole? Let's see. Can he get the best of the wet, treacherous conditions? Looking for a good exit through Jun Sao. That's not too bad. Oh, a little bit shaky as the grip just wasn't quite there as he put the power down, but finds a status quo and continues to power down the straight. This is looking relatively quick. It's a 17.1. It's not quite the improvement he needed. And it's not going to see him improve at all, actually, position or time. Otherwise, how about Fuzz Wade? Any improvement there? No, not quite. Let's see, is that the toe coming up as well? No, it's Joe Lancer. Even quicker now, 16.1, really throwing down the gauntlet for all the other drivers down there, telling them, come on lads, go a bit faster than this. Get a bit of bravery on, put the power down. Go faster as my driving coaching advice is now. Just go faster, do it. Why not? It's simple. I mean, it sounds simple. It really is simple in the grand scheme of things, and it does work a lot of the time. Motti Peretz putting down his first lap time of the session, and after seeing him ahead of his teammate, which is good enough. How about Spelled Wrong? 2/10 up. Here's our championship leader then, coming across the line now. This looks relatively put together. That's better from the Alpine. That's a 17.2. He's 2/10 behind his rival now. They'll start next to each other, more or less, on the grid. And that's more of the place he needs to be, but he'll want to try and go even quicker if he can. But Joe Lancer is a different animal out in this wet weather, isn't he? The toe, I think this is a slower lap from the toe. Yes, it is. He's had a bit of a mare at the moment in this session. Joe Lancer finding his way around again. He's made his way around quickly, hasn't he? I think Fuzzway going a bit slow. I think these are going to be the final runs coming in soon. Johnny Dye, fastest middle sector. Oh, and it's an invalidated lap. Ah, the McLaren was looking quick. But it's going to have to bin this lap off for now and make another run around this track. Maybe even go on a cool down and then do one more. How about Wolfman? Can Wolfman break into the top 5? And this previous, not occasionally he can't. Oh no, he can improve by 6/10, but not breaking into the top 5. Is the other Alpine. How about Motti Peretz? Looking quicker. Improves his time. Not position though. For the time being. Spelled Wrong. Slower lap for him. This might be... I think this will be his final run, I think. Because he won't have the battery life to really go for it. Tears on an improved lap. This could see him up a place or two. If he can put it together across the line. No improvement from Tier. Restart the lobby quick after quali. Okay, no problem. Just let us know. That coincidentally, that'll be the second lobby restart I'm about to go through tonight. No problem, but just quite the coincidence, I guess. Joe Lancer, no improvement, I don't think, from the Williams. No, not quite. Spelled Wrong's making his way around the circuit. I think this qualifying session is wrapping itself up. We've just got a minute or so left, so anyone out on an out lap now needs to get across the line before the time gets to 0 in order to get a decent run in. Jolly Dye has warmed the battery up, got the car ready for one more lap, one more attempt at it. Spelled Wrong, he's on a lap right now, so this is it. This is his final chance to get himself up. He won't have enough time to go around again and set the car up for the best positions. Jolly Dye's retired from the session. I think that's in the pit lane, no. Spelled Wrong, crossing the line. Can he get himself in toward the top. He gets himself ahead of Slivery Cow. That's what he needed to do. And Slivery Cow got a response. Tier 4/10 up on his previous. He's coming down to the line now. He's got Slivery Cow just a few seconds down the road as well. Tier doesn't manage to improve. Slivery Cow, he's got it all to do. He's invalidated his lap, so he's going to be starting behind Spelled Wrong. That's not where he wanted to be at all. Joe Lancer, way down on his previous lap time. No improvement there. How about Wolfman? Wolfman's making some gains, but I don't know if they're going to be enough to see him into the top 5 and see him improve his place at all. So we'll watch along. I think he might be backing off on this lap. Maybe a little bit shaky on the exit of that corner there. I think that's turn 9. Or is it turn 11? I've got a track map up. I can just tell you. It's turn 10. There you go. You're welcome. Turn 10, but backs off. So I think that's going to be your qualifying all done and dusted. I think everything, all the drivers have gone through. So we're going to wait for everyone to cross the line for the checkered flag. I'm not sure Slivery Cow has got much of a response, but he's got plenty of life in there. I think he's still actually going. So he's always a 10th up, actually. This could be an improvement from Slivery Cow, so hold your horses, everybody. There's still 1 lap left to go. Slivery Cow making his way down towards the line now in that Alfa Romeo. Has he got any response, anything at all? It's looking okay. It's a 16.7, not enough to improve, not enough to get past Spelled Wrong, and that's going to be your qualifying session for the final time this season. We're going to go off into the race very soon, but it looks like we are doing a lobby reset, so we're going to hold fire for a few moments. But in between this time and now and the reset, I will run you through the grid once it pops up. A great session thus far. We did have a wet qualifying session. It's a bit different from your standard qualifying, and drivers will be hoping the rain isn't going to follow along. If anybody does know what the conditions are going to be like, I would love to know in the chat. But anyway, let's run you through the grid for tonight's finale then, shall we? Joe Lancer on pole position, looked well put together out in the slippery conditions. Can he transfer that into race pace? We'll wait and see. Spelled Wrong lines up alongside him with Slivery Cow on the toe, occupying the second row. Jolly Die and Wolfman are in positions 5 and 6, with Tier and Monty Peretz 7 and 8. Rounding off the top 10, we've got Fuzzwade and Scott, who didn't set a lap time and retired, with Womax, RPM Sinful and Clop-It. It's a clear race, thank you, Scott. So none of the wet stuff in the race there. So we're going to reset the lobby, I think. I'm just waiting for an invite. It looks like, as we've been migrating hosts, so we'll be with you as soon as we possibly can. I think I'll top up my water in the meantime and prepare for some racing. I'll try and leave the session now. I'll have to wait till the formation lap sort of starts, or until I get an invite. Let's see if I got an invite. No, not quite yet. Hello, Karpinski. No problem at all. Any chance? I mean, when I saw it was a finale and I saw it was Brazil, I thought, you know what? I can't miss out on a finale in Brazil. Can't do it. There we go. I can quit the main menu now. Spelled Wrong. Well, good luck. You're in a decent spot with P2 on the grid, so gonna be your championship to lose, I guess, and hopefully well, what was I gonna say? I'm a bit. It's a bit of a shame that I haven't sort of seen much of the racing. It would have been cool to have seen some of it. Shush, yes. Well, I've been known to bring the commentator's coincidence about, as I've now learned it's not the curse, but the coincidence. Zach Sweeney will, of course, Zach Sweeney sort of corrected me on that a little while ago. No cursing you. I mean, unfortunately, it seems to be a bit of my reputation at the moment, as a commentator. But no, I'm sure you'll be fine. I'm sure you'll be fine. Right, I'm going to top my water up. We're going to get racing very soon. We're going to get all the lobby reset and ready to go. And I'll be with you in just a few moments' time. Hello, Ghost. Watching while you're packing. Very, very cool. This looks like it might be quite the race, I think. We're going to be in for some action, I'm sure of it. Maybe not as much as the race over in Tier 1 APP, but certainly enough to fill your boots. Or whatever sort of container you're filling, although I don't know why you'd use a boot as a container. Oh, gosh. Excuse me. My bad. I think we're just waiting for about four more drivers before we can get started. Any predictions? Please do put them in. Who's going to be holding up the championship aloft? I guess who's going to be for both? Actually, I mean, I think actually is there both. Are both Alpines and both... Let's have a look. No, I feel like the constructors might be wrapped up actually, because I think we've got both Alpines. There's only one Alfa Romeo, so as long as both Alpines finish, I think that's game over for the constructors, it seems. But drivers is still on there, and we'll be watching eagerly as Slivery Cow and Spowdrong venture out onto the track one last time to come out on top. But we'll wait and see what happens. 36 laps, of course, at the circuit into Lagos. Gosh, what an amazing track it is. Indeed. Of course, remember to like the stream, guys. I'm seeing 6 people watching and only 3 likes. The 3 people who've not liked so far, you know who you are. I can't do much else but to tell you to like the stream. But I don't know, maybe I'll send Bluey after you or something. If you know who Bluey is, you should be scared. And if Bluey's watching, one of the 6 people watching, you know, lol. I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest. That's kind of awkward. Saying earlier that there we go, we're up to 5 now, but 6. There we go. It's still that 1 person though. We've had a 7th person join in. Oh, 8 now. Pop some likes on the stream, guys. The 2 people who've not done so far, you know who you are. Oh look, we got Simps now as well. The other Alfa Romeo's here, serving a qualifying ban. Can anybody inform me as to, or is he just late to the session? If anyone in the chat knows, I'd love to know. That's my only assumption, really. Simps is here, so we've got we've got a Constructors' Championship back on our hands, but Simps is going to be way down the order because of it, but will likely put on a good show for us, trying to make his way through the grid as well. That's good. We wanted to have both championships fought for. Oh no, Simps is gone as quickly as he came back. That's a shame. And we're still waiting for drivers to get themselves into the lobby. I'm going to put my phone on charge, actually. But I was making a point earlier about, being... I like to try and engage with the live chat as well. Watching and racing Fuzzwad Well, don't do a Scott. Don't do a Scott and pay too much attention to the stream. You're still in a race there, dude. So, but thank you for watching alongside racing as well. Oh, I've just realised I can't put my phone on charge because all of my plugs are taken up by equipment that I need right now. So looks like my phone will have to sit there slowly dying. But anyway, I was making a point of that without sort of too much engagement from the live chat, that you just got to try and pad for time, you know, just sort of fill in the blank spaces and silence, and just waffle on about whatever. And it feels like talking to yourself, but you're not. You're talking to the people that are listening. And I've said as much of the same if you were watching on the last stream, but you sort of, you know, when you're commentating on your own, you're kind of talking about this, that, and the other. And lots of downtime does that, doesn't it? Let's clop it back in the session. I think we're waiting for one more. Maybe is Simps joining us once again? Was he serving a quali ban? I still don't know. The questions need to be answered. But yes, padding for time, waffling on about nonsense and other stuff, but you know, it's engaging, it's starting conversations, it's getting people talking. Yeah, definitely waffling on, 100%. But it's just what you got to do. That's what you got to do. You sort of learn it as a trade when you sort of become a commentator. I mean, you can keep it on topic, I guess, but you know, I mean, I tend to go off on tangents, and I'm probably walking a very fine line right now of entering a tangent that I'm not going to come back from. And I don't think we're getting. Are we not getting Simps back? Don't tell me the championship's off now. I was looking forward to seeing them both go down to the wire, but maybe not. That's a shame. Although we're not ready yet, I don't think. Scott. No, Scott has readied up, so it looks like we are going to go and do some racing. Whoa. I've got a fresh glass of water at the ready. My voice is as well rested as it can be. It takes a lot. Takes a lot to do 2 back-to-back sessions, but I'm more than happy to do it. I always watch gaps closely enough. You're good. Yeah, that's it. I try and watch the gaps as closely as possible, but it's kind of overwhelming sometimes, you know, when there's, you know, well, I guess the race I've just come from, 19 cars all going into turn 1 at Monza, and they're all sort of jostling and fighting for position. There's Simps, he's back. Just as we were about to get going, the lobby was updated, so we're going to reset that timer. But Simps has returned. And let's go racing, come on. Gonna go now. Yes, it will be good luck. It'll be less waffling, more focusing on the racing, but the waffling sort of comes in between. Thank you, Fuzzwads. I'm always happy to jump in and be here if I can, and I'm glad that you guys appreciate my presence at the moment. Right, a finale. Brazil, 36 laps. 2 drivers, 2 teams who have written the story thus far. They've, you know, this is the last bit, the final chapter. Waffling is a crucial skill for a commentator. Yes, Ghost, exactly. Finally, someone with my back. I'm sure any other commentators will also sort of chime in on that. But you've got to learn how to waffle when you're a commentator. But yes, the final chapter of ESRL Division 2, and it starts right here. We've had qualifying. It was wet. It was treacherous, and the Williams of Joe Lancer put it on pole position. But the 2 championship rivals are sat in positions 2 and 3. Can they dispatch of that Williams quickly? Will the pit crews of F1 2023 be out T-posing for dominance in next year's game. Who knows? Who can tell, really? Maybe they'll be doing something even more funky and weird. Who knows what glitches you'll get in an F1 Codemasters game. But all questions that are going to be answered very soon. I mean, maybe not the question just before, but certainly the championships are on the line. Remember, 12 points separate the top two drivers. That's spelled wrong. And was it Stinky Cow? Something Cow? Slippery Cow? I can't remember names. I'm terrible with names. I'm sure. Slivery Cow. Was it Slivery Cow? I should probably just look at my list here that I definitely didn't close on my phone a few moments ago. I think it's Slivery Cow. I could be wrong. Oh, pings in other chats as well. It is Slivery Cow. There you go. Or is it Slivery Cows? Like is the 5 an S? I don't know. Slivery Cow. You tell me. But from now, it's going to be Slivery Cow for as long as whatever. We've got 5 seconds, then it'll be saved from my waffling very soon as we get ready for a formation lap. Hopefully everyone's remembered their setups after the restart, and tyre strategies as well, of course, being applied. We're waiting for players. Come on, Codemasters, get us in. We want to go racing. I want to see these cars going around the grid. Come on. It's not looking good. Fingers crossed for not another reset of the lobby. No dropouts as of yet. Who's the more dominant team at their T-posing? That's another question. So who's winning in this battle? Is it, I don't know. I mean, the Mercedes guys are quite prevalent, aren't they? There's like 3 guys all stacked on top of each other. It's like that. It's like that 3-headed knight in Monty Python, isn't it? I'm sure some people might understand that reference. Maybe not. Monty Python and the Holy Grail, fantastic film, by the way. But yes, who's the more dominant team here in their T-posing efforts? Those bright red Ferraris are looking quite good. It's not looking good, is it? What is happening? Oh dear, Simps has left. I think Simps has been the problem from the start, because we're going to go now that Simps has dropped out of the lobby. It's a shame for Simps in the Alfa Romeo. His connection's doing him an absolute disservice at the moment, and in such a crucial one at that. But we're finally underway, and we can stop waffling and talk about the race to come. We're going to look through the strategies, and for the second time tonight, it's all 3 compounds of tyres out on track. Let's see the top 2 opting for the hard tyres of Slivery Cow, going on to the medium compound, then opting for a more aggressive approach, as Spelled Wrong has put it in the wall already. Don't do that on it. I think he won't be too happy with me if he does crash out of the session. But anyway, the tow in the other Williams is also on the hard, so joint strategy for the Williams pair, with Jolly Die on the mediums in that McLaren, and Wolfman on the hard tyres. Tier, the only driver opting for the red wall tyre. Will that pay off for the Aston Martin? We'll find out soon. The Ferrari pair are on the mediums. Simps is back in the session, but he won't take control of the car until the race has started. Scott is starting on the hard tyres. Hopefully he's put his foam to the side. Womack's on the mediums with Sinful hard tyres, Cloppet medium, and Simps also on the hard compound. That's it then. Joe Lancer leads us round, or he doesn't quite lead us round. Somebody else is currently leading. I think that's Slivery Cow. Top 2 have had an absolute mare on this formation lap. They won't want to do that during the race. But so we're lining ourselves up on the grid for one final time here in ESRL Division 2. We're going to be going racing very, very soon. we go then, I think this is it. Drivers lined up on the grid. Gonna go 3, 4, 5 red lights. And we're underway for the finale, the final time this season. And it's a good start from Joe Lancer as well. Slivery Cow's got the better of his rival at the moment. He's going to go around the outside into turn 1. At the moment, a little bit of contact there, forces him wide. And it's free wide going through the second part of the centre S's at the moment. The McLaren's forced off. Oh, and there's contact as well. Lucky to be still in the race, but Spout Wrong has been jumped by his rival. And that's exactly what he needed to do at the moment. This is a nice camera angle from here. And we got some side-by-side action going into turn 4 as well. Jolly Dies chasing after the toe, and Tier is trying to make the best of those soft compound tyres. Side by side with Scott, we've got a virtual safety car at the moment. The McLaren of Cloppet has crashed along the is it Retta Posta? I can't remember the name of the straight. It's the Retta Aposta. That was it. I was almost there. And I think, is that a full course? No, we're going to be sticking with... how is the toe still facing the right way? Yeah, I know, right? He got sandwiched between two cars and somehow still going. Insane stuff. Joe Lancer getting the jump on everybody. A good start from there. Slivery Cow did exactly what he needed to do to get ahead of his rival. But he needs to do a bit more than that. He needs to finish fairly well clear of it. I'm not sure I've got the stats for you, though. I'd love to sit down and work it out, but I've got to try and focus on the race. So if anyone in the chat wants to do that work for me, hint hint, nudge nudge, ghost, then please do help a guy out and let us know what needs to happen for drivers to finish in certain places. But Slivery Cow for sure needs to outscore Spout Wrong by 13 points. That is a definite here. Where he needs to finish, I can't really say. The point system in ESRL, actually, I did get sent that, so I can tell you while we're in a little bit of downtime. So it's 25 points for first, it's 20 for P2, then it's 18 for P3, 4 is 16, and then it goes down by 1 point from P4 all the way down to P20 for 0 points. So that is how the points are scored here in ESRL. And fastest lap goes to the driver who sets it in the top 10 and is classified as well. And anyway, we've got some action going on. Jolly Die and the Toe going side by side. The green flag has snuck along. They're side by side still going into Junsao now. The inside line for the Williams as they go along. Outside for the McLaren. There's going to emerge side by side as well. They're going to drag race all the way down to the line, all the way down to turn 1 as well. But the McLaren seems to have the edge over the Williams and gets ahead for the time being. The Williams gets in the slipstream. They've also got Womax in the house as well, looking for a way through. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1, is it as well? No, Womax backs out, but the Williams goes very deep and forces the McLaren to go wide as well, and now it's side by side with Womax as well. Inside line for the Haas, these two side by side, but the McLaren has just got a nose ahead at the moment and is in the slipstream with the DRS, and Womax backs out quite sensibly and sits behind for the time being. Bit more action going on. Scott's fighting away with Wolfman in the other Alpine. Side by side they go up the hill now. Around the outside, still side by side. Great stuff not to make contact as well. But that's Wolfman. Oh, big send from Scott there. Braking as late as he dares. That's clean. Just about on the edges of clean. But Scott losing places. I think he's had to give that one back. I think he felt he didn't do too well with that or something. But Scott has dropped about 3 places in 1 or 2 corners there. What's happened? Has he got some damage or something, or has he just lost out on giving the place back? Maybe he got one of those weird illegal overtakes the game likes to throw out from time to time. Maybe that's what's going on here at the moment. Let's see what else is going on. Joe and Jolly Die, they're fighting again. These guys all having a big scrap here for P4. At the moment, the McLaren under the attack now from Womax, who's trying to make his way through. At the moment, Womax, a reserve driver here, of course, making his presence felt as well. The Toe trying to find a way around. Side by side, they're going to go. The slipstream goes from one driver to another as they go side by side into turn 4. The Haas stays ahead for the time being and slots in behind the McLaren. These three are fighting tooth and nail for P4 at the moment. Just what we want to see in this finale. There's lots of battles going on track, and it's great stuff to see. Scott dropping way down the order as well. Not the best. Oh, right, here we go. So Ghost has done some work for me. Thank you, Ghost. Spoud needs to finish 5th or higher to guarantee the title. So there you go. That's what Spoud's got to do to guarantee his title. He's not got a lot of battery left in that car. He's not the best at saving. Maybe Ghost, you can give him some tips on how to save battery at some point. And I think Jolly Die is pronounced Yola Da, just so you know. Okay. Strange names across the board, but Yola Da. I'll try and remember that. Yola Da. I'll try my best. So meanwhile, Slivery Cow slips up to the back of, well, slivers up to the back, I should say, to make it a bit more fitting, of Joe Lancer. We've got a fight on our hands for P1 in this championship now, and it's looking spicy all along the field. Sinful trying to make up some places as well in the Mercedes. He's just behind Monty Peretz coming through Sector 2. Now Tier and the Toe, they're fighting away as well. Yola Da is making up, opening up that gap, and he'll want to try and catch up to the top 3. Spoud wrong, he's caught up to the back of this pack at the front as well. And actually Slivery Cow has slivered into P1. Missed that overtake just about. We'll keep an eye on this then. I think this is going to be erupting as we go into the laps. We're only 6 laps of 36. Yola Da has set the fastest lap of the session thus far. The Toe and Tier getting close together as well. Not quite close enough for an overtake, but the Aston Martin Shaw setting one up as well. There's a bit of a scrap behind as well. That's Wolfman, Monty Pretz and Sinful. They're fighting their way through. Tier with the DRS. He's looking to the inside now of turn 4. That's a clean pass if ever I've seen one. And that's the Aston Martin up into P6. How long can he stay there? And it's not going to be long as the Williams pulls alongside and gets back into P6 with one corner. A great bit of battling and switching of places thus far. Another 3-car fight back here. This is Wolfman, Monty Pretz and Sinful making their way through as well. Just keeping an eye on the timing tower, on those gaps for the action, and where it's unfolding and how it's unfolding is what I'm trying to display to everybody at the moment. But making their way through for the time being. They all go. Monty Pretz looking for a better exit. Then Wolfman ahead of him. I think he's not quite got it there. Meanwhile, Joe Lancer, he's chasing down Slivery Cow still. He's close to the back. He's trying to keep Spoud wrong away from him. Outside of DRS, of course. Slivery Cow doing a great job in his early stages to sort of try and get some control over this race and assert himself. Here we go, this battle for P8 rages on. Here comes Sinful, looks to the inside of Monty Peretz, can't really come over to block him off now. Side by side they go, they're still side by side as they go through. Is there any contact? They've both forced each other off onto the wider part of the circuit. That might be something for the stewards. That's invited Scott into P9 now. That's 2 free places. He'll be happy to have some more places up there, but Joe Lance is putting the pressure on now. Spoud Wrong's just staying in touch with them, but he's got to do a bit more to catch up and get there. Slivery Cow's got the ERS advantage though. That's going to be helping him. That extra bit of battery in the tank is going to be powering him down the straight. The less battery you have, the harder, well, the less efficient your engine's going to be, and the less speed you're really going to have in those straight sections there as well. This battle continues on. Actually, no, it's Sinful and Simps actually, and Simps is not in the session, I don't think. So don't worry too much about that one. Unless he is in the session. I don't know, he's ghosted, so that makes me think he's not in the session. Anyway, Tier and the Aston Martin, he's chasing him along with the Toe as well, trying to get up some places, but I'm sure he'll be pitting in very soon. The Toe going defensive though as Tier closes in on him again, and it's side by side once more for these two, and Tier ahead once again. But can the Toe get the better run up the hill through Sector 2? He does, gets very close to the back of the Aston Martin, and that's the inside into this double right-hander here, and the Williams once again makes his way through. These two having quite the fight out there, and the Aston Martin looks to the inside, looks for a late lunge as they go through this twisty section. Not quite. Can Tier do anything coming up the hill now? Gets close to the back of the Williams. Any late lunges into here? We saw Scott do one of those a little while ago. I think that was the corner prior, but no move into turn 10 from the Aston Martin. And speaking of Scott, he's got Wolfman, who he's chasing down at the moment. He's got to keep Monty Perez away from him as well. Meanwhile, I think the battle at the front is heating up a little bit more. They've both got themselves away from Spowed Wrong, who's 1.3 seconds down the road from Joe Lancer. Joe Lancer's got the DRS now. He's going to be into the slipstream of the Alfa Romeo. He's not quite going to be close enough to launch an attack at the moment, so it's going to be these two following alongside one another this time. How about Tier and the Toe? At the moment, they're going to continue to fight these two. Tier's got barely any battery. No wonder he's unable to keep that place moving up the hill. It's a tough one for Tier as he runs very wide. He won't want to do that too many more times. He'll risk himself getting a time penalty. Womack's in a bit of no man's land. Yola DA as well. He's in a bit of no man's land as well. Spowed Wrong. No man's land is opening up for him. There's a bit of a train forming. It's all aboard the tow train at the moment. We'll keep an eye on that as it goes. But we've got a battle for P1 here. It's Livery Cow and Joe Lancer, I should say, fighting their way through. And he's got to try and set up a move, does Joe Lancer, but he's not got the battery to do. I think maybe set up the save some battery, wait for your moment, put the pressure on, get in the mirrors as well, and just try and go on the attack when it's a bit more right. You don't always need to use the battery, remember. It's a resource, and you've only got a limited amount of it. And in some circuits especially, it's hard to come back. I think this is one of the circuits where it's hard to regain battery around here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Of course, I mean, I've not got too much racing experience this season, so, well, this year's game even, so I don't really know. And I've never been the best at battery saving anyway, but yeah, save some battery, Joe Lancer, and then try and launch an attack on Slivery Cow. Because you've got the pace, you showed that in qualifying, perhaps, and you know those tyres, those medium tyres, are gonna they're gonna fall off eventually. That's when you've got to make your move. Meanwhile, Tier, I think he'll be peeling into the pits soon on those soft compounder tyres. Is he going soft hard, I wonder? I think that's what the plan is for the Aston Martin. Soft hard and then go to the end. I think he's trying to save some battery as well. The Toe using a little bit to keep Tier at bay. And Tier not peeling in just yet, though. I think he'll have to soon. Meanwhile, Scott and Monty Perez, they're getting a bit close, and Monty Perez is setting up a move. Here he goes to the inside of Scott. It's side by side into the centre as they go. Turn 1, and the Ferrari emerges down the hill in P9, and Scott's got some work to do to get that place back at the moment, and I'm sure he'll be welcoming a fight. Don't look at your phone in this crucial moment, Scott. That'll end in tears. But here he goes into the inside, down towards turn 4. Car number 2 files his way through, and that's a very clean overtake, but the Ferrari says, not today, I'm going to have another go at you up the hill right now. But Scott holds the better line, holds that inside line and fends the Ferrari off now. Is it a send from Monty Perez? Sets himself up for one. It might be a send from the Mercedes, who tries to go around the outside, but now around the outside goes the Ferrari. What an incredible move, using the grip of the medium tyres, and gets around the outside of Scott. Round of applause, Monty Perez, for a move like that. Meanwhile, Joe Lancer very close to the back of Slivery Cow. Is this fight on into turn 1? Not quite. He wants to try and get past this car if he can, so he can help with that. Well, he can get the best out of his strategy, which is going to see him go longer into the race than the Alfa Romeo as well. Tier's finally into the pit lane on those soft tyres. We'll see what he merges out on, but we're trying to keep an eye on the action as well. There's a lot of fighting going on among the pack, and it's Monty Perez, Scott and Sinful fighting over P8 at the moment. This is quite a scrap that I hope goes on for the remainder of this race as well. Yola DA as well was caught onto the back of Spowed Wrong as well, so he could lose another place, could the Alpine at the moment. But Monty Perez and Scott and Sinful all still following along one after the other at the moment. We'll keep an eye on all of these battles as they continue to erupt. Let's see what's going on a bit further down, a bit further up the field at the moment. Let's see, Joe Lancer is setting up a move. He's much closer on this occasion, but can he get that pass done? I don't know. He's approaching very, very quickly. Is it defensive from the Alfa Romeo? No, he sticks to the racing line, and so does Joe Lancer. He's just keen to follow him for now, and keen to keep sticking the pressure on, but there's a bit of action going on here. Yola Da has got himself ahead of Spoud Wong through turn 1, and Spoud Wong is down to P4, but he's going to have an answer back for that. I think he's close enough. The McLaren goes defensive all the way to the inside, then back onto the racing line. No moves made for the Alpine. I think that was all just about clean as far as racing goes. But Yola Da up onto the podium for the time being. Meanwhile, Scott has got past Monty Perez in the meantime. So much action to keep an eye on. Is there going to be any moves made down in towards turn 4? Scott trying to break the toe, of course. Here comes Sinful, though, in the Mercedes, looking to go around the outside of the Ferrari. It's the inside line for the Ferrari, which forces the Mercedes to back off, and the door is slammed shut in his face at the moment. And he's just going to have to sit behind the Ferrari, who's going to be on tyres that are going to start struggling soon. And those hards are going to come into their own, I think. Not sure what the right strategy is here, to be honest. I think the hard tyres are going to have a much better time later on. Well, later on into the race, of course. That's just how it naturally works. And then emerging out onto the mediums is going to give them quite the advantage over everybody else who will be on the harder compounder tyre. So keep an eye on that as well. So Spoud Wrong might not be out for the count for a podium just yet. Joe Lancer trying to make some moves. Not getting overly close to the back of Slivery Cow for the time being, and he's not been taking my advice. He's not been saving any battery. He's got much less battery than he had before, and actually Slivery Cow's had to use a bit of battery now. I think that's to help curb some of the drop off on the tyres for him, but these two still very close, and they're having quite a good race at the moment. Maybe something will erupt soon. Keeping an eye on everything. Monty Perez getting close to the back of Scott as well, a bit further up. He's 3 tenths behind. Trying to sort of catch him out on the braking, and trying to outbrake Scott in that AlphaTauri at the moment. Here we go, another run down. This is lap 14. It's going to be lap 15 in a few moments' time as they cross the line. But Joe Lancer again, not really close enough to launch an attack. Same as Spoud Wrong, but I think he's just happy to keep touch with Yola Da. He's got Womax is 7.5 seconds down the road. He just needs to stay there. He doesn't need to do much more. Just has to finish P5 or better. That's what Ghost says in the live chat, and that's what he's going to probably try and do. But this battle's getting a bit heated, though, as Monty Perez is going to the inside. It's going to be 3 wide into turn 1. The Mercedes and the Ferrari both going down the inside. A big Scott sort of backs off quite instinctively there. And Sinful, what a great move. What an opportunistic one to take the inside line from Monty Perez, who took it from Scott. And now Scott's going to go on the attack on the Ferrari as well. Side by side they go in towards turn 4. And the Ferrari, the big loser in this 3-car fight at the moment. Can the Ferrari get himself a bit further up? No, and I think these medium tyres are starting to feel those effects of drop-off now, and they're running outside of their operating window, and that's Sinful up 2 places, and Scott up a plate. Well, he's not really changed place, really, has he? He's sort of lost and gained one. So, not really, but, Slivery Cow into the pit lane then. So, the first of the medium runners to come in, and that's our race leader into the pits. That's going to release Joe Lancer. And Yola Da did not follow him in. Anyone else going to follow him in? We'll wait and see eagerly. And the next medium runner to come along will be Monty Perez in the Ferrari. So we'll wait and see. Is there any damage on Slivery Cow's car at all? Probably not. I mean, he's coming out of the pits. He's going to have some very clear air. Look at that. That's almost perfect positioning for him. The toe is dropping back a little bit. Joe Lancer, a 3-second time penalty. That could prove crucial later down the line at the end of the race this time. Spoud Wrong closing on the back of Yola Da at the moment. He's just sort of sitting with him and doing everything he needs to do thus far. He's hoping for a bit of a quiet race, I think, just to seal this championship and bring it home. But only 1 pit stop made so far, and there's plenty more where that come from. Yola Da is coming down P2 at the moment. Is he going to peel in? He is. Into the pit lane comes the McLaren then. So responding to Slivery Cow, who will for sure come out ahead of the McLaren. Sinful has dropped Scott 1.5 seconds, 1.6. He's got a lot of pace in that Mercedes, but he's left him in the company of Moxie Perez, who I think may be coming into the pits soon as well. Womack's in the pit lane as well. He started on the mediums too, so he's onto the hard tyres as well. Sinful still running along nicely, and is looking to catch up to Wolfman and spark a battle for P5. This Mercedes is looking very quick out there at the moment. Very good contender for driver of the day at the moment, as far as things are concerned. But anyway, Scott and Motti still going at it. Motti's trying to get the most out of those mediums. Him and his teammate are the only medium runners left out on the circuit who not come in yet. Something's happened to Spalding. Oh no, Yola DA came in, so that's what happened. That's why the gap is so big. Let's watch this fight then for P5. Got a yellow flag. That's the Aston Martin Atir round crashed out, and that is your first full course safety car of the evening. So we're going to bunch things up right as the pit window is sort of well and truly open. This could help the hard runners out. They're going to get themselves a free pit stop, and the oh my, I mean, Slivery Cow's not in the worst of places actually. I think he'll just get back ahead of everything. Coming into the pit lane then, I think it's really hard, it's hard to tell who's lost out on this at the moment, but the hard runners are definitely a bit earlier than they would have liked, but I'm sure those mediums will get to the end just about. We're at the halfway mark now, so yes, I'm sure they'll get to the end. Cow will come out behind, so that's unfortunate. Yes, he will. Oh, that's a shame for Slivery Cow. He's been the big loser there. So's Yola DA as well, actually, now that you say it. And not only that, but they'll be up against fresh mediums, which is not going to help their cause. Although they will drop off because they're going to be expected to go a bit longer than they would have liked to have taken them, the hard runner. So it's not over yet. Don't count those chickens, as they say, before they have hatched. And I'm just going to let the safety car run through and let everything sort of settle back down and ready to go. I'm going to take a quick moment. We'll be back racing very shortly, but the safety car has thrown a spanner in the works. Back again. It's because it wasn't raining, but yeah, Tyr has ruined the championship, says Ghost, and I suppose he sort of has, hasn't he? Yes, I mean, our Slivery Cow, oh no, he's ahead actually of Spalding at least, but he emerges behind Joe Lancer, which is it's going to step backwards in this race, but Joe Lancer's got that penalty, but I think more importantly, Spalding is ahead of Yola Day. Excuse me. So that's definitely changed things up for sure. Let's see, we've got 17 laps remaining of this race then. We're still waiting for the safety car to bunch everybody all the way up. And yes, we've got, well, we've still got a championship on the cards. At least one, with the Constructors is practically over. Unless the Alpines both crash or fail to score points, then it could be... I mean, let's see what the gap is again. I think it's 27 points. So I think it might still be over mathematically anyway. If that's the gap, because the maximum you'd score is 26 points for finishing first and the fastest lap. So I think no matter where you slice it, you needed that second team, you needed that second driver out, Alfa Romeo. And sadly, that's not what they have. Constructor standings, yeah, 27 points, look at that. That is a shame. And it's not for no lack of trying as well. I don't know if Simps has managed to come back. He hasn't. But he was in the session previously. And is now no longer in the session. And the toe's in the pit lane. And so he's got some damage on that Williams. What's going on here? Or is he just changing onto the hards? Didn't he start on the hards? What's going on, toe? Or fresh mediums? Fresh mediums. No, I feel it. I think he's not got much to lose doing that, and they're going to be a little bit. They're going to be a little more reliable coming into the end of the race. So, not a bad shout from the toe at all. And I think the safety car will come in this lap. The grid is now sandwiched between the two Williams. Yes, it's Yo Lancer leading the way as we wait for the race to get restarted. Let's wait and see what is going to happen. My word. Yeah, Spout does have a shot for the win here. He certainly does. He's in a good spot for it. He's actually on the mediums as well. But remember, those mediums have got to go a relatively long way. I think the safety car came out not at an awful time, but not the optimal time. I think he can definitely make his way through. Simps must be in the session, otherwise his Ghost wouldn't have got that penalty, surely. Unless he's just joined back and I didn't see that. But anyway, the safety car's gone. Joe Lance is going to set us off once again. Weaving and weaving. When's he going to go? When's he going to drop it? He's gone just now, and I think he's caught Slivery Cow napping just a little bit as well. But I think they're going to hold station for the time being as they come down. One by one they go. Here comes Yolodeye, though, making his way in. Oh, that's a little look. No way through, though. Past the Alpine at the moment. It's not what Spout Wrong would want, though. But this is the fight that we're going to keep an eye on as well. Sims drops down the grid, but he's ghosted, so that's not going to be too much of a concern for us. Tears left the session now after ruining the championship, as Ghost said. And we've got a yellow flag. That's a Ferrari off the circuit. That's Fuzz Wade. He's got no ring, but I think he's still able to keep going. He is. So no safety car for that incident. But Spout Wrong. It's all over the back. Oh, getting very close, going very deep. Almost hitting the back of his championship rival there. That won't be something he needs to do. And I think he did make contact on that second occasion. And so he's definitely got those tyres up to a bit more temperature than his rival ahead. And Joe Lancer has actually opened up a gap already. It's 1.1 seconds, 1.2 seconds now. And those medium tyres working to full effect. And I think Spout Wrong has set the move up beautifully here. And he's going to have him in his sights. He's sitting duck, and Alfa Romeo runs him as wide as possible. Gets a 3-second time penalty for good measure as well. And is going to try and race him as hard as he possibly can as well. This is very over the line sort of stuff racing between the two of them, and he keeps him behind. An absolute brick wall of a car is that Alfa Romeo, and maybe a little bit sketchy as well. The stewards might look at some of that as aggressive defending, but runs this rival all the way to the inside again. Side by side they go now, and it's a bit of contact. Oh, and Spout's got round Inside wheel, it's outside wheel to inside rear. Oh no, and Spout is all the way down the back. This could be a huge shift in championship standings. And it won't be the way either of them would want the championship to go, especially Slivery Cow, but this is a huge bit of drama. This is Verstappen and Hamilton levels of championship drama here in Division 2. Oh my word. Yeah, Ghost, there's no words in the live chat. No words at all. And Spelled Wrong has gone from attacking for P2 and is now down into P10 and has got some work to do now. He's really got to get stuck in and get up the grid at the moment. He's got to put that incident behind him and not drive with too much anger in this occasion. All he's got to do is close back up or get up to P5. That's it. That's where he's got to get to. It's not all over yet, but the mountain has become a lot more difficult to climb at the moment. Cal comes second and Spout only needs to finish the race to win, so he's still okay. Okay. But Slivery Cow, I think, is looking a bit quicker than Joe Lancer here, even on the hard tyres. So this could spell some trouble. This could go down to the wire, and it's getting exciting now. I wish I was a bit more clued in and better at maths, because I think I could get a bit more excited, I suppose. But I mean, I'm glad that even though Ghost is not in the box with me right now, he's still able to provide some stats alongside, which is great. Meanwhile, the Toe making a move on Scott at the moment. Scott getting well stuck in with the fighting. It's great to see Scott out there battling away on the circuit once more, and he's getting really stuck in with this fighting at the moment. A great battle for P8 is emerging at the moment, and the Toe is ahead at the moment. Spelled Wrong all over the back of the Alfa Romeo. Scott's allowed to race for position, so he's going to make this difficult, I think. Maybe not too difficult, but he's certainly not going to back off. I've said this before, but getting a driver to back off is like trying to fight a bear. It's just not going to work. It's not on. Don't try it. Or trying to take a toy away from a dog who doesn't want you to take their toy. He didn't have a clear mind. He was too aggressive. Next lap, the DRS was easier for him, says Demetrius. Yes, for sure. I think he was. I mean, I don't think it was more than that. I think he had an opportunity and he went for it. But I think it got a bit too. I think when a championship's on the line and it's between the two rivals, it can get a bit heated like that. And I don't think Slivery Cow did anything necessarily out of malice, but there definitely was, oh, I'm fighting for a championship here, I need to defend as hard as I can. Cowrings is out fastest lap, and Spout needs P6, says Ghost in the live chat. And actually Slivery Cow, he's made a move and he's up into P2 on those harder compound tyres. So the race is on now. Spelled Wrong needs to get into P5. Slivery Cow needs to try and get fastest lap if he can. But Joe Lance is not going to let this go easy. He's going to be racing as well. So this is the wire stuff. And we've got 11 laps more to go of this. Hopefully no safety cars will interrupt this as we go on. Meanwhile, Monty Peretz is fighting his way for P7 at the moment. We've got 10 people watching the stream so far. It's all kicking off here in Division 2 ESRL, and we've got quite the championship battle on the go. Monty Peretz is on a bit of a looking behind him. He's got the Toe for company. Williams is looking for a way past this Ferrari. Side by side they go now. Is it going to be free wide into the first corner once again? We've seen it a couple times tonight. No, not quite, but that is the Toe up into P7. Some great fighting in the midfield. Oh, and there's the Ferrari into the wall. Oh, Monty Peretz into the wall. I think he's still able to keep it going, but that's no wing, and he's going to drop all the way to the back, and that's going to be race over if there's no safety car for the Ferrari at the moment, who was lying stricken on the side of the road. Womack's is getting involved now. There's a 4-car fight here, And actually, this time penalty of Slivery Cows could come back to haunt him. As if Yola DA and Womax finish close enough, they'll jump him. And Spowed Wrong, that's it. That'll be it. Spowed Wrong will win the championship. And actually, he's sat in P8 at the moment, at the back of this fight for, I think, P7. And actually, now that Monty Perez is out of the picture, it's just one car he's got to get past. Spowed needs 2 more places to guarantee the title, assuming Cow doesn't get fastest lap. Yes, he does. So he needs to be into P6 then. And wow, Slivery Cow's lost it out of place again. I'm missing the action at the front. I'm not going to take my eyes off it this time because Slivery Cow getting really involved in the fighting now as well. And it's actually hindering him a little bit because Yola DA is getting involved in the fighting now too. So the McLaren wants a slice of action as well alongside. And this penalty, as I say, is going to be crucial in this fight. We're keeping an eye on Spowed Wrong as he chases down the toe. Laura Romero cheering on Spowed Wrong in the chat, edging him ever closer with the support as well. Monty Perez is retired in the pit lane. That is a shame for the Ferrari driver, but I think he's had enough of racing for this evening, and I don't blame him in the slightest. We've got still a fair few laps to go, and it's all to play for Slivery Cow. Pressure's on his shoulders to perform. Defending to the inside, just Joe Larson and Slivery Cow around the outside with that assistance from the DRS system, and he's got himself into P1 once again. He's got to try and get fastest lap though. That's what he needs to do, and the Spowed Wrong needs to get into P6. He's got 2 cars to clear. He's got the Toe and Sinful. And Sinful, I might add, has been looking very fast, but not on this occasion. He's on old and medium compound tyres, and the Toe is catching up. The Toe is giving the toe to Spowed Wrong, who is then catching up to Sinful at the moment. And it is all going according to plan for now, but the work's got to be done on track. He's got to get past those cars at the moment. Well, if Slivery Cow manages to break away, of course, don't forget about these penalties, which are going to come into effect, because Yola DA and Womax, they're still close enough to reap the rewards of time penalties, unless they get time penalties themselves. Then it changes up things. There's so much going on in this race already, and Spowed Wrong is on the attack. Once again, he's going to try and move on the Williams of the Toe at the moment, very close to the back of his fellow blue car at the moment. Inside line for him. He's going to go to the outside then. Could it be 3 wide? No chance. And Sinful is trying to defend from the Toe as well, and the Toe is well off the circuit there. He's overcooked it, got himself a time penalty to boot, and now here goes Spowed. He's on the attack on the Mercedes as well, and I don't know if the Williams, he does, he has to give the place back and almost takes Spowed out of the race. That was incredibly close. Spowed Wrong on the attack once again, inside line for this double right hand, and not quite close enough to launch a meaningful attack there, but he's making his presence felt in this fight as well. This is absolutely phenomenal stuff. This is the driver driving his heart out here, trying to make sure that he wins this title, and as far as the penalties are concerned, he will, and I'm not sure if he knows about the penalties up ahead. I'm sure he does, but I think he's just driving and trying to do his best he can, and he's going to look for the best exit possible out of Junsao. This is going to be quite the fight going down into turn 1. Oh, there's contact as well, and he's found again. He's out of the race. Is he? No, he's still in this race, but he's way down, and the safety car's out once again. It's absolute drama, but the Toe is out of the race. And into the pit lane comes Spowed Wrong, and it's going to be soft tyres for everybody, but it's kicking off here in Division 2. Oh my word. I need a moment. Maximum drama, none of the other drivers giving an inch for the title contenders. No, nobody cares. There's a title on the line, but they're not caring. They're racing. Yeah, oh my god, indeed. We've lost 5 drivers from this race. Spelled wrong. How is he still going? How? I think the stewards will be looking at that one with scrutiny, I think. But from my point of view, I think the toe just didn't leave room and put Spelled wrong into the wall. We won't be too happy with that, but he'll be happy to still be in the race because that was a hefty crash. Amazingly lucky, yeah. Amazingly lucky. Oh, 100% deserved. Yeah. For sure. And yeah, soft tyres. Womack stays out. If there's one thing, you know what, I'm not a betting man. But if I was a betting man, I would bet that Womack doesn't pit for soft tyres when a safety car comes out. Because that's what he does. He's going to struggle on those hards, and unless he comes in, unless the three of them come in, Womack, Wolfman and Sinful all stay out in the hopes of a podium, but they're going to have soft runners behind them who are going to be charging their way. But yes, let's have a look at the penalties, guys. That's a good point. Actually, let's see what fastest lap is at the moment. Spelled wrong has fastest lap right now as well, if that's something you want to know. But 5 seconds for Simps, but he's ghosted, so it won't matter. But 3 seconds for Slivery Cow, Joe Lancer, and now Spelled wrong also has a 3-second time penalty as well. Ghost, you're going to have to do some maths for me here, mate. I know you're supposed to be packing, but I'm useless at it, and I've got to try and comment on the action at the same time. But there's so much going into this. This might be a Johnny Herbert situation. We might not find out who's won the title until after the race. Spelled will be happy with the safety car at least, but he's still got some work to do. It will come in no matter what on lap 34. I think it may come in a bit earlier than that. Cow P1, Spelled needs P7 plus fastest lap or P6. So there you go, it's outlined there. It's in the chat now, it's written down, it's recorded for the history books. If Cow doesn't finish P1, then Spelled just needs to finish. There you go. So there's your time penalties. That's what needs to happen. There we go. Good stuff. And look, that Womack stayed out. Sinful came in. Smart move, but he should have came in at the first opportunity. He's lost out a lot of places because of that. Wow. Slivery Cow needs to finish in first in this race. It's going to be hard. He leads thus far though, and if he can get in front of Womack and Wolfman and pull away by 3 seconds, he could do it. Spelled either needs Slippery not to finish first and him to finish, or needs to finish in P6 or with P7 and the fastest lap, which is currently his. He has fastest lap. Anyone can take it, as there are only 9 drivers left, and it goes to the top 10. Although anyone who finishes in the top 10 and is classified, remember. This championship not decided yet. Safety cars coming in. Womack's in the house is going to lead us around, and then he'll become the effective safety car. We've got 33, 34, 35, 36, 3 laps of racing left to go. We've got our championship rivals with a lot of work to do. Spelled at the very back of the grid at the moment. As Womack's punched it, there he goes, he's gone at the moment, and Wolfman is already under attack from the Alfa Romeo as well. That was very close between the two of them, but Slivery Cow up the inside of the Alpine. Is he going to give him room? Is he going to do a Checo and help his teammate out as best as he can? He is. He's going to try and force him off the circuit almost, and it doesn't go all that well, but Joe Lancer all the way around the outside of the both of them now as well. Slivery Cow down into P2, P5, he's out of the race! He's into the wall! And that's it! That's going to be a championship decided! Slivery Cow is out of this race, and he's going to be absolutely fuming about that. This championship, this race does not let up at all. Hat What is going on? I'm so glad I jumped in on this one. This has been an absolute barnstormer of a session at the moment, and it's not over yet. Joe Lancer is on the attack on Womax now, who actually has some sort of good chance of winning this race if he could just keep the cars behind him at the moment. Oh, and he doesn't really need to do that either. If Joe Lancer stays within 3 seconds of Womax, if he does get ahead, then he'll still finish. But Yola DA, he'll have an answer for that for sure. At the moment, we've got to comment on what we see at the moment, but Spoud, he's only got a couple more laps left to go until he is crowned the champion of Division 2. At the moment, it's been an absolute drama-filled session at the moment, and I'm glad I've been bringing it to you, but here comes Yola DA into the inside of the McLaren, and he's up the inside of Womax, and he's ahead now. He's in a really good position to try and win this race. Just got to stay within 3 seconds of Joe Lancer at the moment. Can he do it? He's only got a few more laps to go at the moment. Spat wrong on the attack of Scott, but he doesn't need to work too hard for the time being. I don't think Joe Lancer's going to pull out 2 seconds in 1 lap. I'm not sure he can do that. I think it's going to go the way of the McLaren, unless he spins, of course. Then Womack is still within a good shout of winning this race, which would be astonishing from them. But yes, wow, says Red Flame Joe in the chat. What an absolute race this has been, and an absolute drama-packed session to close out a championship that has been, no doubt, just as action-packed and drama-full as well. Here comes Spoud wrong, gonna make a move on Scott. Scott will give him the room, I'm certain of it, and he does round the outside. They go still side by side, they go through the corners as well. Gonna emerge in front of the Alpha Tauri, and is going to have his teammate ahead, and I think the Alpine will just let Spoud go, and he does indeed do that. He doesn't need to. Oh, and he's actually got himself on the inside, as does Wolfman, and has got himself spun out of the race. What was he thinking there? He could have easily taken his teammate out. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but still. Wolfman way down to the back of the order there. Not the best of moves for the time being. We've got 1 lap left to go. Well, less than that now, actually. We've got 1 sector left to go. And Joe Lancer is leading the race on track at the moment. And he is going to come through Junsao for the final time and lead us all the way down to the line. He's going to cross the line in first place. But your winner this evening, of this race at least, is going to be Yola DA in the McLaren. A great drive from him, but Spoud wrong is going to be your champion of Division 4. Not Division 4, it's Division 2 for the 4th season. It's the Alpine, and he is your driver's champion after an absolutely hectic session of Formula 1 racing, and I need a moment after that. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. What a race. Real and truer words have never been spoken. Oh my god. I think the stewards might be a bit busy tonight as well. There he is then, your winner in the McLaren, and a great job too, I think. Took advantage of safety cars, used some decent pace and really got stuck in as well. Yeah, Scott, it's going to be one to watch back, 100%. We'll have some great moments for the socials later as well. Gosh, if I hadn't lost my voice after APP, I've definitely lost it after this one. Wow, what an absolute way to end an absolutely astonishing season. And Yola DA is going to be your winner for this evening for this race, with Joe Lancer taking the fastest lap and P2 as well. Womax P3, Scott coming home in P4. He'll clinch P3 in the championship. Well done, Scott. Sinful rounding off the top 5. Spoudron comes home P6, but is your champion of Division 2 this season. And well done to Spoud Wrong. He did everything he can to get himself there, and I'm sure is absolutely elated with that. Wolfman comes home to be your final driver, finishing the session. Slivery Cow will be classified, but he didn't finish the race with the toe not finishing. Monty Perret's not finishing. Neither did Fosway, Tier, Cloppett, or Simps, who didn't actually, well, actually got disqualified, in fact. But that's it. Wow. I'll sleep well tonight, is all I'll say for that one. And I'm sure neighbours and people who are currently trying to go to bed aren't going to be too thrilled with me shouting. But if I didn't bring you as much enthusiasm as I could muster in this race, then I would have been doing a disservice to myself and to every single driver that participated this evening in this session. We'll look at driver of the day. And you know what? I think I'll give it to Yola Da. Started P5, comes home to win, did everything right this session, actually, and had some great pace. That'll be my driver of the day. I mean, driver of the season goes to Spoud Wrong, of course. But absolute drama. No problem, Scott. You know what? I should be thanking you. You must you must have had a feeling about this race or something, but you've invited me into one of the best races I've ever commentated on, and I've had an absolute whale of a time. Thank you ESRL Division 2 for putting on an absolute barnstormer of a show. That'll be some great stuff for a show reel when I do finally get round to making one. But wow, what an absolute race that we've just had. Ooh, I need to lie down. I think the drivers will need to lie down after that as well. But yes, I've done driver of the day, I've done this, that and the other, but that's going to round up season 4 of this championship then. And what a season it has been. Spoud Wrong is your champion, Alpine your constructors champions as well. And wow, what a race to boot as well. I'm going to go and rest my voice now. Thank you ESRL, thank you for an amazing race. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely night wherever you are in the world. And yes, thank you Ghost as well for being the co-commentator from a distance in the live chat. Thank you for all the support. Make sure you subscribed, liked and follow the channel as well. I try and commentate as much as I can, and I really, really love it as well. It's been a long-standing journey for me, a hobby turning into some sort of a career for me, hopefully down the line. But anyway, I'll stop waffling on now. You've had enough of that for this evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and it's a very, very warm goodbye from me.